And now, a special remote segment from Tommy.
Hey, what's going on? I'm Tommy Nonnenmacher from Real Good News, and I'm joined today by my good friend Molly Mackenzie, a Morris County-based student director studying at Pace University. How's it going, Molly?
I am wonderful. I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. Thanks for coming. Thanks for being on the show. So, straight off the bat, you're a director, student director that I've worked with before, a wonderfully talented director. You're studying at Pace University. So I'm wondering, and for our audience, what's it like being a director? Like, what's the workload like? What's the student life versus extra life? How do you fit work schedule into your student schedule? What's all that life like, balancing that, studying something that you want to do as a career at the same time?
It can be complicated, but it's super fun. I'd say a lot of directing depends where you're doing it and who you're doing it with. And obviously, part of the good thing about directing is you have a little bit more say in who you're surrounding yourself with when you're doing those kind of projects.
Right.
But not always. Even if every experience is a good experience, I feel like I've had mostly good experiences. You need to learn how to tackle the new challenges that will come with directing within a different group. So I'm about to assistant direct at Pace, their main stage musical production. I've directed a company that I've helped found. So there are lots of different things that come with everything. But I think part of the good thing that comes with even having a super heavy workload is that at least being a directing student in school, I feel like I get to take all the schoolwork that I'm doing and apply it later on in the day. So it make it crazy, but I think everything loops back together in a way that works.
Oh, that's so cool. Can you talk more about us for the company that you are part of? It was at the town you said that you're running, and what's that like, going after school, working with your friends, like a completely student-led directing company?
Yeah. So my friends and I have founded a theater company called Town. We're all students from Pace, but the company is not affiliated with the school at all. We rent out our own spaces all throughout New York and Manhattan, Brooklyn, wherever, and we put on our own shows, which is super fun and exciting. And we have students who are our friends from Pace. We have students who are our friends from elsewhere throughout the city, and it is a lot of fun. I have had the pleasure to assistant direct a production of Rocky Horror last year. I stage managed a play festival last spring, and then in the fall, I got to direct on my own our shadow cast of Rocky Horror, and then coming up, I'm going to be directing a new play called She Said, She Said about the Beatles, which I'm super excited about. So there's always something new and exciting.
Oh, that's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So you're talking a lot about being from the city, being in the city. We know that Pace University is located downtown in Manhattan. So how does that affect being a student director when you're in the midst of the greatest city in the world for the arts, for theater? How does that inspire you? How does that shape the way you learn and grow? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, being in the city is awesome, definitely because of the reasons you would expect, like having exposure to Broadway shows and all of the big things in the industry, but it's also awesome because there's theater everywhere. Like there are small theaters and other artists everywhere. So you're always going to be able to discover something new, and that's super exciting. And also, you kind of feel like all of the theater makers in the city also know everyone. So I have a lot of people auditioning for my play right now that I don't know, but then I'll look them up. I'm like, oh, they did a show with this person, this person, this person. We're all linked together. And so it's super cool to feel, even in such a massive city, so many connections within the industry.
Oh, totally. And can you talk a bit about how that maybe seeing shows, or I don't know, having people come to your shows, how that inspires you, how that changes your artistic vision on the work that you put out? Is that
sure?
Or I don't know.
Yeah, I love seeing shows. I love going to Broadway shows and off-Broadway shows and off-Broadway shows and weird things in basements. Like it is so fun to see the most different theater in the world. And even if I see something I don't love, I feel like I can always get something out of it. And most things I do like. I like to be critical, but overall, having theater is going to be fun no matter what, even if it's not the best thing in the world. So, yeah, I love it. Seize the opportunity and see as much theater as you can, even if you don't think you're going to like it.
Oh, that's awesome. So just anecdotally, I'm just curious, like you said, theater in basements. Can you talk a little bit about your experience with the idea of theater can be anywhere? Like how, I don't know, maybe what's like the coolest place you've seen a play or a production, or I don't know, something like that.
Certainly. I saw a production performed by the New York Neo-Futurists, which is a devised theater group
Oh,
in the city. I forget what the venue was exactly, but I can look it up. It was super cool. It was their play called The Infinite Wrench, and it was in like this cool little basement venue. And like I didn't even have a real chair. I was like standing on the side and watching it,
isn't
and
that the
it was
best?
just like super cool. Like all of the scenes were out of order, and they had numbers all strung up like on the ceiling, and then the audience would yell out a number and they would pull one down and then do whatever that scene was.
Oh my gosh.
And then they'd have to try and finish the show all within a set amount of time, and like we're making soup at the same time. Like, it was the craziest thing I've ever seen. It was so fun.
That is so exciting and fun. Yeah, and I don't know, like you said, you're a director, you've worked all across the city. How does thinking about where can I put my next show? Where can I direct? Does that affect your vision? Like, where can I do this? It's hard especially as a student director, to think about the stages and the accessibility and the big versus the small and the mediums of theater and where we can put this out. So how do you go about that as a producer, as a creator, and trying to put this out there to a greater audience, but also within the limitations of being a student? Like, where do you typically try to look for venues and spaces to perform?
So being a student director, and especially starting in a company where we're completely nonprofit, having to
Right.
really fund everything on our own, you do have to keep an open mind, but that can be even more exciting because it can be fun to perform stuff in like grungy kind of venues. Like when we
Mhm.
did Rocky Horror most recently, we did it at this place called Under St. Mark's, which is this really cool little basement black box, which was really fun. Like it was my first choice venue, and we had other options, and I was like, no, like I want this one so bad.
Yeah.
This to me is the show. This
Oh
venue
yeah.
is the show. Like you need to do it there. So yeah, but keep an open mind and think about how an unconventional kind of space can work for you. That's what I have to say.
Totally. And I mean, I saw Rocky obviously, and I loved it, and I thought the space was perfect in the basement of that. Was it St. Mark's Church?
Yeah, Under St. Mark's.
Oh my gosh, that was absolutely perfect for the show too.
Thank you.
Such a blast. So I want to ask, you're from Morris County, you're from Chatham, New Jersey, you come
Mhm.
from Chatham High School, and you performed there, you acted, you maybe directed a little bit there. How do you kind of stay in touch with your roots, being from New York, and going back to Jersey and keeping up with people you worked with? And how does that affect you as a student director in New York, transitioning from New Jersey?
I'd say it's not hard because I grew up with parents that worked in the city when I was little. And so they were very familiar with New York. And my dad was from New York originally. So, like, I was super used to being brought into the city by my parents all the time. So, adjusting, although, yes, the city is a huge difference, I knew what I was getting myself into. It wasn't that crazy.
Right.
And I'm thankful that I am super close to home, and New Jersey does have a wonderful theater scene as well that I get to be
Mhm.
involved with when I'm not in school. So yeah, I think it's a great best of both worlds situation.
Oh, awesome. And can you talk a little bit about other venues you performed in New Jersey? You've worked with theaters in New Jersey that you could talk about that maybe some of our viewers might want to check out over the summer or coming up or anything like that?
Yes, I will always advocate for the Shakespeare Theater of New Jersey. I've done a bunch there. I have been an ASM, an assistant stage manager. I've been a deckhand. I've even performed in one of their shows. And it's super fun. And they have a super exciting season coming up. They're located in Madison, New Jersey.
Mhm.
So super duper close to us. And they put on awesome shows, and not only Shakespeare. So I've loved working there so much. I definitely recommend it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And can you talk a little bit about being like, would you say a deckhand and an ASM, assistant stage manager? What's the process of that like?
Yeah, it's super fun. And I didn't know really that I was interested in stage managing because I had been interested in acting and directing for a little while. And then
Mhm.
I stage managed my first show my freshman year of college. And just because, like, it was like a small student work, so it didn't really matter if I had experience or not. But then I was like, wait,
Mhm.
I like this a lot. Like, I want to do this for real. So then I applied at the Shakespeare Theater of New Jersey, and it's really fun. I like, as one of my friends described, like, being an assistant stage manager or just being backstage is like, it feels like being in the trenches. Like you
Right.
have to be ready at every second to handle any problem that comes across. Like you're really making the entire show run. Like you are ready to open a curtain, or you're ready to hand off a prop, or you're ready to fix something or turn on a light. Like you're really on it, and you have your whole spreadsheet that has what you're doing every single minute of the show. So you can't miss a thing. And it
Yeah,
is
that's awesome.
so exciting, and I love it.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, totally. So I know we talked a little bit about future projects. She said. Any goals? I guess, I mean, you're a junior now, or no, a sophomore directing major at Pace, right?
Mhm. Yes.
So any goals for the next couple of years, maybe, or any goals looking a little bit past college, or if we don't want to talk about that, I don't know. Like I know as an actor and a director and a performer, it's always changing, and thinking about the future is just like, why would I do that? But I don't know. Anything you want to add, you might be looking forward to?
Yeah, I think as far as like in general future, kind of I have to see where I end up based on what I'm doing now. That's the thing with theater, which is kind of fun. Is like you jump job to job. So I can't really plan everything that much in advance. But I would say one of my big goals is I do want the chance to direct like a full musical, because I've
Wow.
done a few plays and I haven't gotten to direct a musical. Rocky is fun, but like they're lip syncing, so it's a little different. And
Totally.
yeah, I'm about to assistant direct Oklahoma, so that will um, get my foot in the door a little bit, hopefully, and see what I'm gearing up to do. I know in my directing class, we have a project right now where everyone's supposed to direct a scene from a play, and I begged to do a song, and they're like, you have to let me. Like I need to get ready to do these musicals. So yeah, that's what I really love, and that's what I hope I get to do in the future is more musical theater.
Okay. Well, that's so awesome. Molly, you are a superstar. You're mega talented. Before we wrap up, I'm just curious, is there anything that the viewers might be able to follow you on Instagram, if you want to share that, or any projects you might want to keep them updated on, or an Instagram or a handle, anything you want to plug, or if not, that's totally okay too. No worries at all.
Yeah, you can follow my personal Instagram, which is Molly_Bell3, or if you want to follow my theater company, that is town with two N's .nyc. So check it out for all the more theater stuff that we're doing soon.
Let's go. And you guys totally should. She is unbelievably talented. Molly, thank you so much for being with us today. We all learned so much from you, and thank you so much. And we wish you the best of luck with all projects coming up.
Thank you so much. It is always a pleasure, Tommy.